Sometimes I spitball an idea I like, but it's not enough for a full video. Sometimes part of a script makes it to voiceover, but not to the final edit. And that's where this series comes in. I'm Marley, and welcome to Optional Side Tangents. Today I'm sharing a tangent that I snipped from one of my recent demo review compilations. The game I'd been talking about wore a lot of Silent Hill inspiration on its sleeve, among other series, and I got a bit off track addressing excessive notes and lore and such in the genre. World building is great, and the balancing act of how much do I tell the players is very real. Sometimes inconsequential info makes for a great bit of backdrop. We keep bringing up Silent Hill, so let's use those games as an example. Silent Hill 2. We learn about the little Baroness, a steamboat that went missing out on the lake, and then soon after, as we descend below the water level, we hear a warped sound that many theorize to be a boat horn. In Silent Hill F, there's an area where you're stalked by a creature that doesn't attack. It just seems to be following you. And soon after, you start finding notes from some guy that was clearly kidnapping and probably doing a lot worse to women up in these mountains. Once Hinako is sufficiently isolated, backed into a literal corner, the creature seizes the opportunity and finally strikes. Or at least, players assume that it's the same creature. Small suggestions, little backdrops. Suddenly you got people making whole video essays about it. I personally love that. On the other hand, there are plenty of other times where even, quote-unquote good horror games drop 5 to 15 page documents that turn into, why do I need to know all this? Will it actually affect how I view the events of the game? And sometimes the answer to that question is not really. I do think that the expectation to have deepest lore in one's horror video game has created a bit of a conundrum, if you will, for indie devs. If they give us too much, it risks oversaturation. If they don't give us enough, their creation might be seen as flat and directionless. I feel like mascot horror in particular tends to suffer from this, but survival horror in general runs into plenty of potential pitfalls. I do think that sometimes we players don't need to hear all the lore, and it doesn't have to come from notes. Still Wakes the Deep is a great recent example of using environmental storytelling over a collectathon.